Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to NWA Power. We are a few days removed from NWA Global Strike, where we saw the shocking debut of Keith Lee. He came out after the NWA World Heavyweight Championship match and made it clear that he is coming for Bishop Dyer and his World Championship. So we'll see over these set of 4 NWA Power tapings how Bishop Dyer is going to react to his new challenger. We don't have to wait long for Bishop Dyer to respond, as opening the first episode of NWA Power, Bishop Dyer has called out Keith Lee after his debut at NWA Global Strike. Keith Lee comes down to the ring, and when Bishop Dyer asks him why he's here, he says the reason is draped over Dyer's shoulder. He's here for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and he's challenging Bishop Dyer to a match at the next event, which is NWA Limitless. So we'll have to see in coming episodes whether or not Bishop Dyer will accept this challenge. We'll then have our first match of these NWA Power tapings, and it is for the NWA World Tag Team Championships, as the team of Bojack and Marsh Rockette do defeat the Southern Six of Alex Taylor and Kerry Morton after a distraction from Silas Mason, a former member of the Southern Six. Again, he did leave the Southern Six to join the Disciples of Sin, so we'll have to see how Taylor and Morton are going to react to this. But a good third defense of the NWA World Tag Team Championships from Bojack and Marsh Rockette. So after this match, we go backstage to see Max Caster with Natalia Markova. He's trying to serenade her with some rather questionable rapping, but she walks away when he's midway through, so he can't actually finish his rap. Again, we saw Max Caster turn up at NWA Global Strike, but he is still trying to serenade and catch the attention of Natalia Markova, but she doesn't seem interested at all. Also, backstage, we have EC3, and behind him you can just see Simon Diamond tied to a chair. EC3 said he didn't want it to come to this, but Slade has left him with no choice. He wants Slade in a cage match at NWA Limitless, and if Slade accepts, he'll let Simon Diamond go free, but if he doesn't, then Slade will never see Simon Diamond again. So the ball is now in Spencer Slade's court. Will he accept EC3's challenge, or will he let Simon Diamond go? In our next match, we have a 6-woman tag team match and another debut, as the team of Kenzie Page, Allison Kay and Karen Q, formerly Wendy Chu in NXT, defeat Kylie Page, Emi Sakura and Yuka Sakazaki after Kenzie Page pins Emi Sakura. Again, a good 55 rated match here. Sakazaki was slowed by injury somewhat. She did get injured at NWA Global Strike, but she still does get a 59 rating, the best in the match. But a good debut from Karen Q, getting a 35. She will just need to up a bit of popularity before she starts hitting those 40s. But a good debut for her, and a good match overall. We'll then move to our next segment, as Colby Corino is backstage. He said he's ready for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship again. But then Ortiz, the former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, attacks him from behind. Ortiz says he also wants the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, but he's too proud to wait in line like a bitch. So Colby Corino has been attacked. He is in the main event tonight, so this will be up next. We'll have to see how this attack from Ortiz affects him. And in our main event, a 67 rated match, the team of Colby Corino and the debuting Keith Lee defeat the Disciples of Sin, being Bishop Dyer and Max the Impaler, when Keith Lee pins the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Bishop Dyer. In the match, we also saw Ortiz come out and try to distract Colby Corino. They do take each other all around the arena due to this attack. They brawl all around, but it doesn't matter because Keith Lee is able to get the best of Bishop Dyer and pin him, definitely putting his claim to challenge the NWA World Heavyweight Champion at NWA Limitless. But before the show ends, Matt Lee quickly slides into the ring and tries to attack Bishop Dyer, but Keith Lee pounces him completely out of the ring. Keith Lee and Bishop Dyer do stare down at each other to close the show as the NWA World Heavyweight Championship lies in the middle of the ring between both Keith Lee and Bishop Dyer. So this first episode of NWA Power through these tapings gets a 60 rating, a really good rating, increasing our popularity in 31 regions. But I will see you in our next episode of NWA Power. So our second taping of NWA Power opens up with a match for the NWA National Heavyweight Championship as Silas Mason defeats his former Southern Six partner in Alex Taylor after a distraction from Father James Mitchell. Once Silas Mason realises that James Mitchell has caused the distraction, he doesn't actually look best pleased, but he still walks up the ramp after the match with Father James Mitchell, making his sixth defence of the NWA National Heavyweight Championship. In our next segment, EC3 is backstage once again with Simon Diamond all tied up behind him. He says that the clock is ticking for Slade and he wants an answer to his challenge next week. We then have Trevor Murdoch backstage in another part of the arena, and he says he wants challenges for the NWA World Television Championship, and he's met with JT Dunn, someone who debuted at NWA Global Strike. JT Dunn says he'll see him in the ring next week as he's challenging him for the NWA World Television Championship. But Mondo is seen back in the background, looking on as this match is made. We'll see if he makes his presence known in this match next week. In our next match, this was for the NWA World Women's Tag Team Championships, as the team of Kenzie Page and Allysin Kay defeat the team of High Five after an interference from Karen Q, who debuted last week on NWA Power. This means that Kenzie Page is once again a double champion here in the NWA, as she is still the NWA World Women's Tag Team Champions and has just won the Tag Team Championships from High Five. So Kenzie Page, once again for the second time in this save altogether, is a double champion. Next we go to Natalia Markova. She is backstage with Titus and the Slimeballs. She's complaining about Max Caster, who's been constantly flirting with her, trying to get her attention for the past few weeks. When she walks away, Max Caster then comes in. He runs and attacks Titus and the Slimeballs and tells them to stay away and not to talk to his girl. And in our main event match of the evening, Colby Corino draws with Ortiz following a double countout. Again, it was a really good match, 74. I believe this is like our joint best match of the entire series. Again, Ortiz did attack Colby Corino last week. He also distracted him during the main event tag team match last week. But this has had no conclusive winner. Colby has drew with Ortiz. We'll have to see how they end up settling this in the future. And then to finish off the show, we see Keith Lee and Bishop Dyer in the middle of the ring. They are going to sign their contracts for their match at NWA Limitless. They both sign their contracts. It's quite an amicable signing. They don't attack each other. They just shake hands. They're going to go their separate ways. But then Matt Slee slides into the ring with a chair. He lays them both out and he stands above them both. He clicks his pen and he adds his name to the contract, making this a triple threat match. Once again, Bishop Dyer will defend his NWA World Heavyweight Championship in a triple threat against both Keith Lee and Matt Lee. So the show gets a 59 rating. I'm quite confused how, since we had a 74 match, but still increased our popularity in 31 regions. So I'll now see you in our third taping of NWA Power. So our third taping of NWA Power opens up with Colby Corino. He's backstage, he's got a microphone, and he says that Ortiz is making him reach down to a place that he hasn't been for a while. After their draw last week, he knows what he has to do. So he challenges Ortiz to a death match at NWA Limitless. In our first match of these tapings, we see the team of the Diamonds in the Rough, being Slade, Plunkett and Westbrook, defeat Sonico and the Faithless after Spence Slade submits Johnny Yuma. A good 44 rated match and a good way to start the show, Spencer Slade being the best in the match by some distance. After the match, Slade grabs a microphone and he says that he accepts EC3's challenge for NWA Limitless. He just wants to have Simon Diamond back. So it will be Slade, EC3 in a cage match at NWA Limitless. After this, we see Silas walking backstage with Father James Mitchell when Alex Taylor walks up to him. He says he saw the fact that Silas was hesitating last week and he knows that his brother is still in there somewhere. He's just been corrupted by Father James Mitchell and he wants his brother back. He wants the Southern Six to be back to full strength. But before Silas is able to answer, Father James Mitchell drags him away. After this, we see the match between Trevor Murdoch and JT Dunn for the NWA World Television Championship, but it ends in a draw after Mike Mondo does in fact make his presence known as he attacks both JT Dunn and Trevor Murdoch. So we'll have to see what happens with this match next week on NWA Power. After this, we see Natalia Markova once again, but this time she's in the women's locker room, when Max Caster once again bursts in. She panics and screams at him to get out, but he doesn't listen, so she runs out herself. So Max Caster, after attacking the slime balls last week, is getting more creepy, more desperate towards Natalia Markova, to the point where he's entering the women's locker room. In our next segment, Kenzie Page is backstage. She's bragging about being a double champion once again, until she's interrupted by Casey Catanzaro, who says she wants to face Kenzie Page at NWA Limitless. Mark Henry, who's just walking by, overhears this, and he says that it sounds like a fantastic idea. So Kenzie will now defend her NWA World Women's Championship against Casey Catanzaro at NWA Limitless. In our main event match of the evening, Bishop Dyer defeats Weber Hatfield in just over 13 minutes with a deep 6. Again, it was just a way to get Bishop Dyer a big win before NWA Limitless and get Weber Hatfield on the show. A good 60 rated match and a good main event match. But after the main event, Bishop Dyer grabs a microphone and he says that Matt Lee has made a huge mistake after attacking him and signing his name on the World Championship match contract last week, because all he's done is piss him off. Now he's coming for NWA Limitless, looking to hurt both Matt Lee and Keith Lee. Before it was just business, but now Matt Lee has made it personal. So this third taping gets a 57 rating. Again, they're getting progressively worse as we go, but they're only dropping 1 or 2 points. Again, it increased their popularity in 31 regions. But now I'll see you for our fourth and final taping of NWA Power. Our final taping of NWA Power opens up with a 51 rated match as Casey Catanzaro defeats Makoto in about 8.5 minutes. Again, this was a good momentum builder for Casey Catanzaro as she faces Kenzie Page at NWA Limitless for the NWA World Women's Championship. After this, we have Mark Henry backstage. He's gathered Trevor Murdoch, JT Dunn and Mike Mondo. He says that he agrees that Murdoch needs more challengers for the NWA World Television Championship. And that's why he's made a 6-pack challenge for NWA Limitless. In our next match, a match for the NWA United States Tag Team Championships, as the team of Vic and Silas Mason, the Disciples of Sin, defeat the Southern Six and Mims and Dylan McKay when Silas Mason pins Mims. Again, recently Silas Mason has been slightly not as on board with the idea of being in the Disciples of Sin since Alex Taylor's been talking to him, but he definitely seemed on board tonight as he defends the NWA United States Tag Team Championships. In our next segment, Natalia Markova is backstage again, and this time she's actively trying to avoid Max Caster to the best she can. But out of nowhere, he appears behind her and once again tries flirting with her. But this time Natalia has had enough. He's had enough of him being creepy, stalking into locker rooms, attacking her friends, so she slaps him and demands he leave her alone. After this, we have EC3. He is not in the arena tonight. He is elsewhere. He's in a welder's shop. He's sat in the cage as it's being welded together. He says that Slade has no idea what he's in for. Slade may have been in the cage before, but he's never been in one with EC3, and at NWA Limitless, he'll teach him what it's all about to be in pain. In our main event of the evening, a strange teaming of Colby Corino and Bishop Dyer defeat the team of Matt Lee and Ortiz as Bishop Dyer pins Matt Lee. In a really good match, a 62 rated match, good ratings all around, with Dyer getting a 67, Corino a 66, Ortiz 64, and Matt Lee a 55. So a really good match to end these tapings. After the match though, Bishop Dyer is celebrating as Colby Corino and Ortiz brawl all the way to the back, but Matt Lee is behind him and he's got hold of the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship belt. As he just about goes to hit Bishop Dyer, Keith Lee appears behind him and snatches the belt, only to hit Matt Lee with it. Dyer turns around, Keith Lee goes to hand him the belt, and as Bishop Dyer goes to take hold of it, he doesn't let go very easily, and the show goes off the air with both men with their hands on the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. So our final taping ends with a 56 overall rating, once again increasing our popularity in 31 regions. But again, all these shows, as usual, have been mired with production issues, because again, we can't compete financially with the likes of NXT or TNA. But now we'll see where those popularity gains have made, and we'll see how much money we did lose on these tapings, because again, we do lose money on these tapings. So here we are, about to look at our financial reports. We'll see what the damage is. So we lose about $17,000 on this show, mainly because, again, other shows haven't been broadcast yet because it's a set of tapings. You haven't had all the sponsorships for this month. So, again, it's reasonable we lose money on these shows. Workers cost $26,000. Again, it's not that bad. It could have been worse. Production has gone up as well because we have improved some parts. So, $17,000 is a reasonable amount to lose. But if we look at our popularity, once again, we've gained popularity in many different regions. We've gained at least 2 popularity in most of America, so that brings us up to 45 in some regions of America, which is obviously absolutely exceptional. We've grown at least 2 popularity points in most of Mexico, except for Centro. We've gone from 30 to 31. In the Midlands, we've grown 1 popularity point in everywhere except for Scotland and Ireland, which we grew 2, so again, it's really good. And we've grown quite well in Japan also, so a good growth all around. But as for now, I will end the episode here. There's no need to go back to the office area, and the next episode I will see you in is obviously NWA Limitless. We set up quite a few matches for that tonight, including Spencer Slade versus EC3 in a steel cage. Trevor Murdoch will defend the NWA Television Championship in a 6-pack challenge. Kenzie Page will defend the NWA World Women's Championship against Casey Catanzaro. Bishop Dyer will defend the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship in a triple threat against Matt Lee and Keith Lee. And we will see Colby Corino take on Ortiz in a death match. So once again, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in the next episode, which will be NWA Limitless.